Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to show you how to take a song that was recorded live at a venue and show you how to get ready for radio broadcast. I'm going to do that by using Logic Pro. Now, one of the reasons you might want to do this is when you record live, often the audio quality is a little bit quiet and might need a little bit of balancing to make it nice and loud for radio levels. So we're going to take a song. This one's called Kids by the band Pleasurecraft. It was recorded live at Lefty's Well here in Whitehorse, Yukon. I'm going to load this into Logic Pro. I'm going to preview the audio here, or just get the audio ready. And the first step we're going to do is normalize the audio. And then puts it to 0 decibels. So I'm going to open this track up by double clicking on it or clicking on this little scissor button up here. I'm going to go Functions, Normalize Region Gain. I'm going to click this. And I'm going to set the target level to All right, so now the audio file is already within a ballpark range of where we want it to be. We want the audio to be loud throughout the track, so it's not just at this loud part, but everything else, when it's getting played back, the listener doesn't have to fiddle with their volume knob at all. So the next step that we're going to do is inspect this audio file and make sure that it starts and stops at the right point. I call this topping and tailing the audio. Let's jump ahead here. All right, I'm going to put an edit right here, as this is where the song actually starts. There's a little bit of noodling before this, so let's just get rid of a few seconds, make sure it's ready to go. And now let's jump ahead to the end of the song and trim up the ending here. All right, let's pull this back and put a fade on there at the end. The fade doesn't have to be too long, maybe a couple seconds. All right, that sounds good to me. So now that we have the song top and tailed, we have the start point and the end points are kind of lined up. Next, what we want to do is listen back to the audio and see what the average audio level of the track is. You can tell where that is based on the stereo out meter here. There, you can see that now that the audio is normalized, it was kind of peaking around 0 for a little bit and then down to about -4 or so. So we're going to want to get all this audio to average. So the way I'm going to do this here is I'm going to take the EQ, and first I'm going to cut out some of these low frequencies, because that ends up creating a lot of audio track and doesn't have a lot of broadcast quality. Next up, I'm going to just increase the upper mid to this is mostly just a subjective taste to that audio and say, hey, it needs to be a little bit more high frequencies, so I'm going to cut in the lower mids. Let's bring in the high frequencies. That doesn't sound good. Let's bring it back to here. All right, that sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, let's, we did some low cuts, we did some bit of a high boost, and this kind of balances out the signal to make it sound just a little bit nicer without, take some of the mud out. So next up, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add a limiter. And what a limiter does is, it's under Dynamics, Limiter, Stereo. And what this does is allows us to control the maximum level of the audio we play back at. If you look at the left here, you can see that it's at -4, -5 on the input. On the output, it's -4, -5. So what we can do, we can look at the output level in here. I like setting it to -0.1. So that way we know it's and then we can start dragging this gain knob slowly until that we see the output is averaging around 0.1 or -0.1. So that's about 5 decibels. Now what happens here if I turn this up too much is the audio quality starts getting really squashed and really compressed and it loses all its dynamics. So with that gain knob, you have to be less is more. And yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I like the way it sounds. I like those settings. So I'm happy with it. Let's check the meters again here. All right. That sounds good to me. So next up, I think the song's ready to go. I'm going to highlight everything, and then I'm going to do a quick export here. So do that, File, Bounce, Project or Selection. I'm going to choose MP3 as the format and hit OK. And now I already did this once before for the tutorial, so I already have the file here, but I'm just going to save it again with the same name and hit Bounce. Hit Save to overwrite the file. I'm going to write it out here. And now what I recommend doing is just double checking to make sure that everything went properly. So I'm going to open up this file here now that it got bounced out. I'm going to go to Logic Pro, find the file, live at lefty swell _1. That's my file. I'm going to drag it into project. And I'm going to look at the WAV file. You can tell here on the WAV file that it's a little bit beefier. The louder parts are louder. It's a little bit louder overall. That's why it looks a little bit whiter and bigger. And this looks good to me. So let's do a bit of a playback and preview. Make sure it sounds good. Oops, I had that limiter on the camera screen, so let's take those off. And there you go. You can see that it's peaking at minus 0.1. It's not overly compressed. And when I play back the loudest part of the song, it sounds good. It's nice and loud without being too loud. And we still have a bit of dynamics. So now we can upload it to Open Broadcaster and get it on air. Thanks for tuning in and helping us make sure that all the audio on our station sounds great.